Hey guys, it's Housewife in Heels. So I've been kind of on a designer shoe collection kick lately. I showed off my Manolo collection, I showed off my Gianvito Rossi collection, I showed off my Aquazzura collection, and then it dawned on me that I completely neglected my Rene Caovilla collection, and that's not fair. I think that they are deserving of a video in their own right. Rene Caovilla is just one of those ultra opulent, incredible, dazzling kind of designers in terms of shoes. They are some of the most pretty things I've ever seen, and I'm fortunate enough to have gotten two pairs, both gifts from subscribers, two different subscribers, which is bonkers. It still is so incredible to me that I was ever able to acquire shoes as incredible as these. So let's go ahead and get into the first pair. So the first pair that I have today are my first pair of Rene Caovillas in general, and I am talking about the Margot sandal. These sandals are just incredible. Every it girl that, has a pair, at least one pair. You see all the big influencers wearing these, and there's a reason why, because there's just nothing else quite like them. Just have to get a little bit of fluff that I saw on one of them off, but these are just amazing. I mean, this is all like Swarovski dust as the sole. Like you when you think of a shoe with an incredible sole, usually Louboutin comes to mind, but I mean, just look at that. And then on the Margot sandal, they have this sort of swirling heel thing. I'm not sure what to really call it, but that level of detail is just incredible for shoes like this. Now, I will say something that irks me about them is that the crystals, they're hot fixed to the shoe. They're just glued. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's a missing stone. And there's a missing stone right there. Let's see if I can get my finger in to show you. See right there? So that's a little bit irksome. But other than that, when they're on the foot, is anyone going to really notice? No. Are they the most comfortable things in the world? No. Because they can kind of like dig a little bit into your leg, especially if you've got a little bit thicker of a leg. I tend to have pretty narrow legs, but they still kind of dig at me. They're not the most comfortable things in the world, but my goodness, are they beautiful. And let's say if you're picking between, like, say these and a Socate, I'd recommend these 10 out of 10 times for the average buyer who wants a fabulous shoe. Just the Margot sandals were something that I've admired for many years. I never thought I'd be able to get a pair, and lo and behold, I did. And this really pretty sort of like burgundy color too, but they make these in 1,000,001 different colors. Let's say you're a wedding guest and they want you to wear a specific color. Have no fear. Rene Caovilla has your back in that regard. If you've got around $2,000 or so, I believe these were $1,650 when I got these, but after tax we're just gonna round it up and say about $2,000. If you got $2,000 to drop on a pair of shoes, they got you covered if you want a specific color. Now, if you're watching this, you want to know about sizing. I went up a half size for my true to size. I found that works out very well for me because I have a very narrow foot, so generally speaking, you're gonna want to go up, 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 and up for these. So it's the whole spiel. Figure out the size of your foot, figure out whether or not, what shape your foot is. Do you have a wide foot? Do you have a narrow foot? Do you have an average foot? Go from there. Average, you're going to want to go up probably a whole size. If you have a wider foot, probably 1.5. Sounds crazy, but the luxury world tends to run things very small. But let's go ahead and get into my other pair of Rene Caovillas. So these, whilst I do my little transition, because I don't like doing jump cuts around here, it's just not my style, not my gig, and it never will be. These are the Rene Caovilla Galaxias. And funnily enough, they're in the same color that I got my Margots in. That wasn't intentional. That's just what happened. These became available whilst on sale. They were, I want to say, around $500 to $700. I don't remember. But one of my very, very wonderful subscribers happened to be informed that they were on sale, and he purchased them for me, which is how I acquired this pair in this beautiful color. And these, if you want a showstopper of a shoe, like the Margots are a showstopper, do not get me wrong, but these, goodness gracious, it's like a glittery sock in a way. Now, these aren't the most comfortable things in the world, kind of like the Margots. I've worn these out to dinner, and that's about all I would wear these to. Maybe a movie, things like that, but I would be more inclined to wear a so-cate out and about walking around than I would these, because this toe box, it's not exactly the greatest thing in the world. Now, if you're watching this, want to know about sizing for these, I went true to size, because that's what they had available. That was what was left, because they were on sale. I would, if I could, go up a half size. I would love to do that, just to have that little bit of wiggle room, because these are a tight squeeze going true to size, and I have a very narrow foot. So I would recommend, same diff like I told you for the Margots, it's gonna be like that as well for these. But if you got an event, if you want really, really pretty pictures on your wedding day, or whatever the case may be, and that's all you care about is pretty, pretty pictures, then have no fear, because these will do it. These are very, very great event shoes. Now, would I say that they're great to wear all day? No. If you're a bride and you're dropping $2,000 on your shoes, then get multiples, get your picture shoes, and then get your going and dancing and schmoozing with guest shoes. If you plan on wearing these to some other sort of event, make sure it's going to be one where you're sitting down, things of that nature. These aren't exactly going out walking around having a good time clubbing shoes. These are, you are going to some sort of formal occasion type shoes that you need to dress up for. Kind of black tie in that sense. They can be dressed down, but overall, these are a dressier shoe meant for dressier occasions where you're hopefully just sitting, schmoozing, passing around champagne and talking it up. But I think that will about do it for this little collection video. Well, actually, you know what? That was a lie. If you have your heart set on Rene Caovillas, don't pay full price unless you absolutely have to. You can find these on sale all the time in varying colors, which is how I got these. I like to give my little spiel about trying to save money on designer goods when I can, so there's that. So now this collection is getting wrapped up. We're going to be getting into the try-ons, but first and foremost, before we get into that, if you'd like to further support me, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you'd like to further support me, follow me on TikTok. I'm trying to hit 10K for obvious reasons. You're not through with supporting me like that? Great. Then there is Patreon starting at $3 a month. And if you really want to go hardcore, buy something from my Poshmark closet. I will have that linked down below for you. But other than that, let's go ahead and show you guys just how dazzling these actually are when they are on the feet. So I will see you guys in the next pair of shoes.